And today, beautifully, within the sermon, Friday sermon, we spoke about how it is our obligation as American citizens, as New Yorkers, as Brooklynites, to uphold our rights and exercise our rights and get the rights that we need. A lot of the time, many of our community members, people don't understand what to do in our community. Individuals are having domestic issues. Individuals are having housing crisis. But they're looking left and looking right. They don't know where to go. And that is the lack of representation. And it's the lack of community effort. So once you can collectively come together and start understanding how the system works, exercising your voting rights, and then you can get somewhere. You are number one as an American citizen, you must understand your rights. The Constitution gives you your rights. No one's asking you to go suit up. No one's asking you to do anything that is against the Constitution and law. Practice what you believe in. Obeying the laws of the country. These are the rights that a Muslim should believe in. And very beautifully, when you go to speak to individuals of ignorance, when you start to tell them that whatever perspective you have is illogical, it doesn't make sense, they tend to look away. They tend to not listen. And just very quietly, just the two, 3 points I'm going to make, inshallah. Majority of our information, where do we get it from? Social media, online, and as soon as you take that, you think that's the reality, that's the truth. But do your due diligence and learn about what's going around you, what's going around the world. Don't just listen to one, two news media outlets and just say that's the truth, that's the reality. Then that shows your ignorance. You cannot start labeling anyone. And this is something that I've grown up to, walking in these same streets. And it doesn't make me less of an American anyone. But you have to understand, you speak to individuals like this, then you're going to say, salam, peace. That's what the Quran is telling us. They say, salam, thank you, you go your way, we're going to be in our way. So, and one of the objectives for us gathering here is a collective effort. Don't forget that. If we have an individual that is willing to stand up for us, then that is what we need to do, is support them. You'll never find the perfect candidate. We as humans have flaws within us. But let's take the steps collectively to get better. And I see so many youth that are in the back, in the middle. These may be your future politicians. These may be your future politicians. And don't think that trust me, you don't need a degree. We have so many elected officials, they don't have degrees. But you must at least have your unit, decency, and heart, and understanding of each other's rights. That's what Islam teaches us, that's what the Constitution teaches us, that's what the Founding Fathers did. So, without further ado, enough is said, and we'll have a little bit more talk from, inshallah, Brother Shabir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mufti Abdul Kareem. Before we start the program formally, may I request the Protocol Board President Antonio Reynoso to come and sit on the stage. Please welcome our Board President. Also, we are happy to have another special guest, Justin Brennan, Council Member. Please. We have also Public Education Jamali Williams is on the way and he will be here shortly. Besides these three guests, we also have some other special guests, community leaders who are here who want to talk about this event. Before I go towards the community leader, a request to everyone, there are some people protesting outside. Please let them protest. This is their constitutional right. And just to give you guys an idea, this issue does not start today. Since yesterday, we have been getting threatening calls. What's happening? Why you are doing that? And literally this morning, we received another call, and I cannot tell you what they were saying about why you're doing this event, why you're inviting those people. So this has been happening with us from the last 2 days. And what we have done, we have bring the leaders who are here to run for election, and we are brought you so you can just directly listen what they want to say. So we will keep on doing that. We will keep on registering voters. We will keep on motivating the voters to come out and vote. We will keep on doing that. Before I invite the political leaders, may I request Zakaria Bhai to come on the stage and maybe say a few things.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, welcome to everyone here. I would actually try to invite them one by one, so this way, excuse me, everybody would know them, because this is a time to bring the community together and also to introduce our candidates to them. And then the first step will be that we're going to invite them one by one, and they will introduce themselves, so this way you will know them, and then we will give you the whole statement, this way you can start yourself. Alright? So the first one is, I would like to invite Shams Zaman, inshallah. Shams Zaman will come, inshallah, he will introduce himself and also the organization that he's running. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen, and my special guest. You know, what's happening outside, actually, they are losing, and we are winning. I'm coming from Staten Island. There was a Friday sermon, and kids, old people, young people, they've been distributing the flyers of Ramdani. They were so delighted and they were so confident. I can see and I can read their faces. They were so confident. And let's make no mistake what's happening all over the country, how the senators are being dragged. This is the country, the United States of America. No yellow, no brown man. 275 years or more than almost 300 years history of this country. Time has been changed. People talk. I'm 60. I'm fearful. But my kids, those born here, they have no fear. Come on. You can't fear them. They have no fear. You can't threaten them. They talk. They've been taught. Imam Siraj Haj, Flatbush. Whenever there was threat, people go, Imam, some mob come, they threat us. Please help them. Please help us. He used to come. One day he come and say, what are you talking about? You are a human being. 6 feet. Allah has given you health. You stand up for your rights. How many times I will come and protect you? I ask you. Very few days are left. I don't want to prolong my speech. Very few days are left. Stand up for justice. A young man we found in New York City, Mamdani. The way he spoke, he won the hearts of the people of New York. He will be not the leader of Muslim. Inshallah, he will be the leader of the people of the New York. Inshallah, let's make no mistake, he will be the mayor of New York, and June 24 will be the decision of the day. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so much, inshallah. Try to introduce yourself, inshallah, a few lines, inshallah. This way, because the guests will not have much time. Because, look, election time is very tough. Especially, I know they will be very busy, so we don't want to keep them too much here. Inshallah, I would invite, inshallah, another guest, another friend, an old time, mashallah, working for the community, Baza Ruhi, known by Bibijan, inshallah.
Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum. I just want to say, please come out for the vote. Just stay inside on the room. We are not here to just stay inside in the room. We have to come out, bring your friends, your family, your voters, and cast your vote. We need a Jumani William. We need a Zoran Mumdani. We need a Justin Brennan. We need to change our Democrats, we need to change our leadership. So please come out, vote, let's make a call, let's knock the door and come for the vote. Thank you.
Thank you. So now, because we are very short of time, sorry. So I'm going to invite Program Board President Tony Reynoso to share his message with you. And if you have any questions, inshallah, you can ask also the question, inshallah. So in Tony Reynoso, inshallah.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Antonio Reynoso, and I'm the president of the greatest borough in the state of New York, which is Brooklyn. So as first and foremost, for whoever is not from Brooklyn, you're welcome. I'm so happy to be here. This is Little Pakistan, is where I first started. My first Muslim endorsement when I was running for borough president happened right here. And I've been forever grateful. I've been forever grateful to the community for everything it's done for me. And we've done work with Muslims giving back for food distribution in and around the neighborhood. And I also committed to assisting an organization in the community in building the first Muslim-run and Muslim-named community center in Brooklyn. And we're still working towards that, and I'm excited for it. But outside of all that, I do want to speak to the time we're in now when it comes to the mayor's race. This is a time when we're starting to have a conversation about what type of elected officials we want to have in this city. Are we going to have people that are elected that have harassed women, that have killed seniors in centers, that have taken money from the MTA to pay for rich ski resorts? We either get to build a new standard of what it is to get an elected official, or we stay with the status quo. And you are right. We have Zoran Mamdani right now in this city. Zoran has captured our hearts, not because of his scandals. He's done it because he's speaking very plainly to the people of New York. What do we need? Childcare. We need housing. We need good transportation. And he's able to communicate that very clearly to the people of New York City. And they've responded. And for him to be the first Muslim running for mayor in its history, and that we are within 2 to 3 points of being able to be the next mayor means something. But it doesn't mean anything if we don't show up. He knows exactly how many Muslims there are in Brooklyn. He knows how many people that are Southeast Asian and that are Arab. He knows that number. And that number can make the difference between having the first Muslim mayor in Zoran Mamdani or not. So it's up to us. We talk a lot. We talk a lot about the things that are happening and how we want to see change. This is a chance to not have any more talking and to have some doing. So I hope that when the time comes, we see the highest vote population ever of the Muslim community coming out, not only for Zoran, but for all the elected officials you see here. I want to give a shout out to Justin Brennan, who's been with the community doing this work, who has done amazing work in the city council as the finance chair, but has done with this community for a long time. Jumani Williams. I don't know anyone that's been with the Muslim community longer than Jumani Williams. And he's here with us. So I hope that the cadre of people that you are supporting see your support. But remember, this is the final chance to stop talking about it and start doing it. And I hope you show up to vote June 24th. Thank you so much, and don't forget to spread out. And I'll take questions.
So if anyone has got any questions, inshallah, they can ask. Antonio has been, a wonderful borough president. So if you have any questions for the borough president or any questions, inshallah, Farhan, yes.
Your paper said you would increase affordable housing. What's your policy on that? Like, how would you do that?
Yes.
Affordable
So this is affordable housing. So I'm going to take just a little bit of time on this one because I want to tell you about what people always talk about. People talk about affordable housing, and it's been the same. We've been doing it the same way for about 50 years, 40 years. After Mitchell Lama and after NYCHA, and those great times when we put the term affordable housing, we haven't done it ever again. The way that we want to solve for affordable housing is the way they're doing it in Minnesota and in Austin. Minnesota and Austin, Texas, is the only two cities in this country where the rents went down. Only two cities, rents went down. Do you know how they did it? They just built housing. They built 60,000 units of housing in 2 years. I mean 50,000 units of housing in 2 years. Do you know how much we built in the same amount of time? 60,000. And we are 10 times larger than Austin, Texas, and only built 10,000 more units than them. What they did, even if it was market rates, they let everyone build and build a ton. They built a lot. So now what the landlords were doing is that they were competing for tenants, versus what we do now is that we compete for landlords for an apartment. And I'll give another example. During COVID, COVID was the first time in a long time that people were renegotiating leases to lessen leases in the city of New York, because over 300,000 people left New York. And now there were 300,000 or 200,000 units of housing. And those landlords didn't have tenants. So what did they do? They lowered the price. They gave you a parking spot. They gave you incentives. Because the supply side was so high that they didn't have enough tenants to fill the homes. So I know people get concerned when they see a new development go up. But the more housing we have, the better opportunity we have to lower our rents in a market rate. Because we only have so many subsidies for housing in the city of New York to pay for affordable housing. Zoran has a plan to do 200,000 units in 10 years. We need 1 million units in 10 years. His 200,000 are affordable 100%. And that's not enough, that's a part of it. But we need like 800,000 just market rate. Because it makes it so that the rich people can find a home. They won't come into your apartments. They won't come after your neighborhoods. It'll stay in your home. But right now, there's no home for them. So they come for your apartment and pay an extra $1,000, and now you're gone. But if we build homes for them, it'll make it so that we can protect our homes. So we're doing a supply side, is what we're calling it. We want to build 1 million homes as fast as possible in an effort to bring down the market rate rents. And that is an unusual thing that we're talking about. But if you keep doing the same thing over and over, that's what insanity is. We can't keep letting elected officials tell us that they're going to build affordable housing and make things affordable for 40 years and think it's all going to change. It's not. We have to change the way we do work, and the way we're doing it now is a supply side conversation. Let's build more housing. Any other questions? Another one. And then you can go first, because you asked the next one. For the seniors. Senior immigrants and minorities. So my family is from a immigrant family that came here from the Dominican Republic in 1978. In 1978. And my parents were able to, we were on welfare, food stamps, Section 8. We were on every single government subsidy that you can imagine, just to have food in our stomach and a roof over our head. And in one generation, my mother went from being a poor woman coming from the Dominican Republic to having her son be the youngest borough president elected to a 4-year term in history. And that happens with opportunity. We've lost opportunity. There was a time in our city that we used to have 200 beds in Bellevue Hospital for people with mental health issues. Do you know how much we have right now in Bellevue? 19 beds. From 200 to 19. Because we moved away from caring for people and started moving towards enforcement and fear. What I would do and what I'm doing now is we're supporting not-for-profit organizations that are doing work related to mental health, to help people in need. And every fear that we have, let's say you don't feel safe in the city of New York, doesn't come from crime. It comes from visible poverty. What we're seeing is people with mental health issues, people that are homeless on the streets, that are suffering, and instead of getting care, they get sent to Rikers Island. And when they get to Rikers Island, in 3 days, they're back out. We're not doing any care for our people. We need to get back to being a city that cares for people, not arrest them every single chance they get. That we answer every single problem we have with more cops. That's not the way that we're going to fix this city. is by giving people resources. So that's one way that we're going to help our young people. Our seniors, the senior housing, since George Bush era, there was a program in the federal government called 202 housing. And that was the way that we built housing in the 1980s and 90s for seniors. That program was cut by George Bush Jr., the second one, and since him, it's never been restored. And the city of New York has been doing something called SOUR programming. It's the only way to build housing for our seniors. And if we don't do more and put more funding into the SOUR program, what we're going to see is more doubled and tripled up families in New York. Justin Brown comes from a neighborhood where he has the highest population of families living in a one-family home. You have grandma, you have the parents, and you have the kids living in the same apartment. And so we don't have a conversation about housing for seniors, that's going to continue. But also talking about rezoning a one-family home into a three-family home, allowing that family to grow so they can each have space. And the thing that will solve for every problem that we have in our city should always be housing first. If we solve for housing, we solve for a lot of these problems. Thank you. And I got a longer question, but I feel like I'm going to be here for a long time. And Justin also needs to go move around. Go ahead, one more question?
It's the same thing about housing. Since you said like you want to build, how are you going to build it? Are you going to like give incentives? Are you going to do rezoning or are you going to do all this conversion?
I think the biggest issue we have now is that we have a long process, a ULURP is what it's called, a ULURP process that takes a long time to build. So in communities, you always say, everybody says they need housing. Everyone needs housing. But then I say, okay, we're going to build a 20-story building right here for housing. The whole community comes out and says, no, we don't want it. We don't want it here. We have to change that mentality. We have to let people know that, hey, you want housing, it's going to be built in your neighborhood. And the ULURP process takes about a year or a year and 2 months to go through. So if you want to build housing, it takes almost 2 years to get it done. If we could cut that down a little bit and we could build faster, that would help. So that's the number one way to do it, is to change the ULURP process. But also, we did the City of Yes. The City of Yes is going to allow for, if you have a one-family home, you could build a studio or a one-bedroom in the backyard. Little things like that go a long way. So we just need to give people more access to be able to build more. But the number one way to do it is to modify the ULURP plan, ULURP, so that it can go faster. So that's the technical way that we're going to be able to do that. So I just want to say, I always leave with a quote from one of the greatest poets to ever grace the great land of Brooklyn. His name is Christopher Wallace. Most people know him as the Notorious B.I.G. or Biggie Smalls. And he says, spread love is the Brooklyn way. And I hope that you felt that from me tonight, but I've always felt it from you. Thank you so much. And inshallah, come the 24th, I'm still the Lord. Thank you so much.
Spread the love. It's a brilliant way. Thank you very much, Borough President. We have a lot of community leaders. They want to speak as well, but Justin Brennan is on a schedule. So let us all welcome Justin Brennan. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. It is great to be here with you. Tomorrow, hang on, we're taking pictures of the Borough President. Sorry.
Go, Justin.
All right. So, early voting starts tomorrow. Tomorrow is when we can start making a change in this city. You know, what I love about this city and about this country is that people can come outside and protest, and that's okay here. They can come and they can make their voices heard. As long as they stay peaceful, that's fine. That's what makes this city great, that we can all voice our opinions. But I say this a lot. As a politician here in New York City, I don't have the power to make things better 5,000 miles away. But I do have the power to make sure that I'm not making things worse here in the city of New York. We need to bring people together in moments like this, not divide people up. And there are people running in all the races that use moments like this to divide and conquer. They pit people against each other. They play to our fears and our anxieties. Because that's the easy thing to do. It's easy to divide people up. You know what's hard?
The hard work is bringing people together. Bringing people together around our shared humanity. Bringing people together that we live in the city of New York. And we're all worried about what's going on 5,000 miles away because we got family back home. That's what makes this city so great. We are a city of immigrants. We are a global city where people come here from everywhere to make this place their home. So we should be bringing people together in a moment like this, not dividing people up. So keep your eyes open for the people who say one thing here and then they go say something somewhere else, because that ain't me. Whether I'm talking at the mosque or at the synagogue or at the church, I say the same thing everywhere I go. I don't say one thing here and then say something else down the street. That's not who I am. But there's candidates that are running in these races that do that. And they get away with it. And they divide people up. Because that's easy. I'm running for controller. Controller is basically, if the mayor is the CEO, the controller is the CFO. My job is to oversee your tax dollars to make sure that those tax dollars that you pay, that money is coming back into the communities where you live, where you call home, for you and your families. And I think it's about time that neighborhoods like ours here in Brooklyn, we're tired of fighting over crumbs while other neighborhoods are getting the full loaf of bread. And in a city as rich as ours, it doesn't have to be like that. In a city with a $115 billion budget, people shouldn't be struggling so hard to get by. You got cops and firefighters and teachers and nurses. They got to work 2 jobs just to make ends meet in the richest city in the world. It's not working. It's not working. It's got to be fixed. And starting tomorrow, we can fix that. Vote your heart, vote your values, vote for the people that are here for you in good times and bad. Vote for the people who say the same thing here as they say down the street. That's who I am. Justin Brandon running for controller. I hope I can count on your support. Inshallah, we'll win together. Thank you so much. Any questions?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Brandon. Inshallah, he said yes. This sector.
Hi there.
How are you, brother?
I'm good, thank you. I'm a student of CUNY. I've been in Brooklyn all my life,
Right on.
and I've noticed on your thing, it says you'll fight corruption. One of the main things I think that's plagued this is, like, for example, you see the Coney Island Casino trying to get through. My question sort of is, how do you plan to make those who've done these actions, who want to take earn the tax money, and actually make them answer? Because I think for many New Yorkers is seeing the criminals, but we rarely see them get,
Face consequences.
exactly.
Sure. So one of the main powers of the controller's office, you have audit power, you have subpoena power, and you have investigative power. We have to root out corruption. Not just because it's wrong, not just because they're betraying the public trust, but because they're stealing our tax dollars. And you see right now, there's organizations that will get paid very quickly, and then there's other organizations that do great work and they wait endlessly to get paid back. There's a lot of great nonprofits doing great work in this city, while companies like DocGo, who are stealing our money, they get a check written no problem. And then organizations that are doing important work, they gotta wait forever to get paid back. I want to root out that waste and corruption. The corruption we're seeing in City Hall right now, where friends and family are getting sweetheart deals, and the rest of us are outside with our nose pressed against the window trying to look in, that's not the city that I want. I'm going to fight like hell to fix that, because that's our money, and that's money that could be coming back to our community. So you have my word, if I'm elected, the stuff that I say on that card, I'm going to actually do it. Thank you.
Any more questions from Mr. Brandon? Okay.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you very
so
much.
much. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Let's have some people.
Yeah, let's have some pictures. Thank you, Vinay. Thank you. Now, inshallah, we're going to invite Jumani William should be here in a moment. 5 minutes, inshallah. 5 minutes, inshallah. And we're also expecting Zoran, but he's being, he's one of the busiest person right now, the most wanted person right now. But I hope he comes. I hope he comes, inshallah. So now, inshallah, we're going to invite the other community leaders, inshallah. I would invite right now Sister Rahila, inshallah, Sister Rahila. Come, inshallah, say a few words, inshallah. Urdu mein kehte huए सारा, inshallah. बस थोड़ी तारू टिकर आई, inshallah, चलो.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम, मेरा नाम राहिला है और मुझे ऑलमोस्ट इधर 40 इयर्स हो गए रहते हुए, और मैं सबको ये कहती हूँ अगर हम लोगों ने अपनी कम्युनिटी को स्ट्रॉन्ग करना है तो प्लीज बाहर निकले, वोट दें. वोट हमारी स्ट्रेंथ है, हमारे बच्चों का फ्यूचर है. प्लीज वोट दें जरूर, क्योंकि मैं भी पहले वोट कभी नहीं देती थी, लेकिन आज 10-12 साल से जब मैंने देखा कि वोट ही हमारी स्ट्रेंथ है, और मैं अपनी सारी बहनों और भाइयों को बताती हूँ तो प्लीज बाहर निकले, वोट दें, अपने आप को स्ट्रॉन्ग करें और अपने बच्चों का फ्यूचर बनाएं. थैंक यू सो मच. और ज़ारा इज मुस्लिम कैंडिडेट, प्लीज आप मैं इसकी बहुत सपोर्ट करती हूँ और प्लीज उसको वोट दीजिए. थैंक यू सो मच.
Thank you, Rahila, inshallah.
वो कहते हैं
जी.
it's late but it's not too late. We'll give a quick brief on the rank choice voting.
ठीक है, inshallah. So,
इंट्रोडक्शन देंगे 1 मिनट का आज के प्रोग्राम का करवाने का मकसद क्या है आपको?
ठीक है, inshallah. ठीक है, inshallah. So I'm going to invite Qazi to introduce inshallah what is rank choice voting, inshallah, because this is one of the basic thing of this election will be rank choice voting कि आप voting कैसे देंगे. जो ballots होगा उसके ऊपर मुख्तलिफ choices होंगी, तो inshallah Qazi will explain, inshallah. He works for District Brand Office, inshallah, but he's also mashallah working for 50 leaders, inshallah. He will explain. Qazi.
Thank you, Brother Secretary. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I'm Qazi. I'm with Justin Brandon's campaign. I'm sure that you guys know from speaking to the candidates that we have an election. Early voting starts tomorrow. It's from June 14th to June 22nd. So by show of hands, does anyone know what ranked choice voting is? All right, 1, 2. All right, so it's just a few hands, and out of everyone who doesn't know, ranked choice voting is a system that elects our next people when there's multiple people running, inshallah. There's a lot of people running for mayor, for example. There's 10 people running, but there only has to be one winner, right? Out of this one winner, we want to make sure that the person who gets the most votes wins. So in this system, we have up to 5 choices to vote in the mayor, public advocate, controller, and city council races. So when you make these choices, you could pick one candidate first, you can put the second candidate second. For example, if you put Zohan by number 1, he only gets 35%, he doesn't get 50%. You keep on voting. People who voted for Zohan by number 2nd, number 3rd, number 4th in the next process, after the lowest candidate gets eliminated, that vote automatically goes to Zohan by. So it's very important to make sure even your friends who doesn't support him, to make sure that he gets ranked, to make sure that the other candidates for the other races like Jumani gets ranked. For example, if you have folks voting for Kevin Parker number 1 for controller, make sure they rank Justin number 2nd. But please tell all your friends to vote for Justin Brandon number 1. So that's ranked choice voting.
Justin Brandon number 1.
Justin Brandon always number 1. Justin Brandon always number 1. Justin Brandon always number 1. So does anyone have any questions on the ranked choice voting system?
I can explain them in the voice.
Okay. And no questions on ranked choice voting? So Kashan Bhai from the.
How should we rank Cuomo?
How should you rank? None. You don't rank Cuomo at all. Do not rank Cuomo at all.
Everyone understand this? We are not ranking Cuomo.
Do not rank Cuomo number 1. So I don't know if you guys saw the news today, but Zohan Mamdani was over by he crossed the doors with Brad Lander today. So that just came out today. So if you want to know who you're figuring out to vote for number 2, that's an option right there. As you can see, there's literature in the back of how the Muslim leaders, the coalition, rank their candidates. They put Zohan by number 1, Adrian number 2, Brad number 3. So that's how it's going to be ranked. So any other questions before Kashan Bhai translates it Urdu?
Do not rank Cuomo at all.
Do not rank Cuomo at all.
No way on earth. Do not put it on your list.
Not a chance at all. Not a
No
chance.
way in hell.
No way in hell. No way. 1, 2, 3, 4,
from June 14th to June 22nd, and election primary is on June 24th. Yeah, make sure you tell all your friends that today is the last day to register. Tomorrow is the last day to register as a Democrat if you're a first-time voter. If you want to register to vote, go to nycvotes.org. It takes 2 minutes to apply to register. You can still request your mail-in ballot. Go to nycvotes.org. Yeah, before I pass it off to Kasha, any other questions in English?
Someone said Momo Shaitan, you would have any objection?
Not at all. All right.
Say it, say it. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Allow me to speak in Urdu a little bit. मेरा नाम कासिम हुसैन है. Daytime job मेरी जो है वो जमानी विलियम्स जो पब्लिक एडवोकेट है न्यूज़ सिटी का उनका मैं डेप्यूटी हूँ. One of the 4 deputies. माशाल्लाह से 7 साल हो गए हैं मुझे उनके साथ उनकी एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में. I'm very proud. This is the first time in the elections, youngsters like Qazi from Zoran Mumdani's team, हमारे पास हसन चौधरी हैं, वो भी पाकिस्तान से खबर रखते हैं. और मैं हम लोग आपस में मिलके तीनों कैंपेन्स कोऑर्डिनेट कर रहे हैं कि हमारे जो मुस्लिम्स के लिए बेस्ट कैंडिडेट्स हैं उनको एक जगह पर और एक प्लेटफॉर्म पर एक इश्यूज पर किस तरह लाएं. और दिस इज अ वेल कोऑर्डिनेटेड campaign effort. For the very first time, I think we are looking at historic outcomes, inshallah, and we are going to see history made. If, inshallah, not if, when, right? When we have Zoran as a mayor, Jamani as public advocate, and Brennan as controller, I think we are going to have such a positive time for Muslim community in terms of things that we are lacking, the resources, the representation, everything, all of these things. We have a golden and historic chance to get them addressed. ठीक है? So number one चीज जो है वो ये है कि आप सब जाके चेक करें कि आप लोग registered हैं. Registered Democrats. That's the number one thing to check that you guys are registered. Second thing is find out कि कहाँ voting करनी है. Where are your poll sites? ठीक है? कल से tomorrow we are beginning our early voting. तो कल से हम जाके वोट कर सकते हैं. इलेक्शन के दिन वोट नहीं करना है आराम से. जो सा दिन भी हमारे लिए मुनासिब है हफ्ते के अंदर हम जाके वोट कर सकते हैं. Traditionally, historically, what happens is only the men usually go out for voting. Our wives, our children who are above the age of 18 should be registered, should go out there, and it should be a family affair. हमारा पूरा family की unit जानी चाहिए तो vote करेगा. This is extremely important. If we want to win, then we have to put some extra effort. Okay? Inshallah, we're going to take our family. Second thing is, if you're taking your family, then you call your relatives. They live in Staten Island, they live in Queens, well and good. Tell them to take their families and make this a family affair, a neighborhood affair, a district affair, a borough affair. That's the only way. Naji, how many voters we have registered? Muslims in New York City? 300,000 plus, right? 320, right? 320,000 3 lakh 20,000 वोट हैं मुसलमानों के. अगर उसमें से आधी भी आ जाए, we're going to turn this around, inshallah. So on the ranked choice voting, जैसे कि काजी भाई ने कहा, ranked choice voting में मेरे के लिए number 1 Zoran Mumdani, number 2 Adrian Adams, number 3 Brad Lander, number 4 you can put Zelma Meyer if you like, number 5 you can put Michael Blake. Do not put Como. Do not put Hillary. That's his name, right? Hillary? Tilsey. Whitney Tilsey. Those 2 people you should not circle at all. For public advocate, it's only Jamani Williams. For controller, it's only Brad Lander. And this, just a Brad Lander. This is what our report card should look like when we go in there and vote. So make sure you go back to your communities, you go back to your families, and please make sure you're registered. So inshallah, we want to bring out the historic votes. And Zakir bhai, thank you so much for organizing this. And I know a lot of organizations, a lot of individuals are doing this in different boroughs. So this is a very appreciated effort. Big hands to the community organizers here. Thank you.
Thank you for this attention. Now, inshallah, I'm going to invite one of our, mashallah, very good friends, one of the oldest activists, I would say, in our community, Naji Al-Muntasir, inshallah. Naji, few words, inshallah. You can just say it.
That's all I got to say. That's it.
Okay, inshallah. Jamani Williams, inshallah, is outside, so inshallah, he's coming in. And okay, inshallah. So, again, inshallah, आपने जिस तरह आपने सुना कि जो रैंक चॉइस वोटिंग है, आपके पास 5 चॉइसेस होती है. तो आपने जब वोट देना है, तो आप सर्कल करते हैं कि नंबर 1 में कौन है, नंबर 2 में कौन है, 3 में. तो आपने ना सारा उसको फिल आउट करना होता है. अगर आप सिर्फ एक करेंगे, 4 नहीं करेंगे तो वो भी आपका वोट डल जाएगा, लेकिन 2 को आप नहीं कर सकते। अगर आपने नंबर 1 में, ये ना जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल मेयर के लिए जोरान है, अगर आपने उसको नंबर 1 पर सेलेक्ट कर लिया, तो दूसरे नंबर 1 पर आप नहीं कर सकते कि दूसरे को भी अपना नंबर 1 पर करना है। तो इसलिए आप 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 आपके पास 5 चॉइसेस होती है कि जो आप इस तरीके से जो है वो करते हैं। तो रैंक चॉइस वोटिंग की ये फायदा होता है कि अगर आप जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल आप 2 बंदों को पसंद करते हैं तो एक को 1 पर रखें, दूसरे को सेकंड रखें, फिर भी आपका वोट जो है ना वो दोनों को डल जाएगा और your voice will be heard इंशाल्लाह। इस तरीके से इस साल हमारे पास जो है ना ये रैंक चॉइस वोटिंग पिछले साल से शुरू हुआ था, आज से तकरीबन 4 साल पहले जब 2020 में ये इलेक्शन हुए थे उस वक्त से। तो इसलिए हर बंदे को रैंक चॉइस वोटिंग के बारे में मालूमात होनी चाहिए कि what is rank choice voting and how to use rank choice voting, inshallah. If anybody wants to speak, inshallah, they are more than welcome. जी, फौजिया, please, Sister Fozia, inshallah, would like to, उर्दू में inshallah बात करते हैं।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम। मेरे प्यारे न्यू यॉर्कर्स, CEO and the chairperson of different organization, you are more than welcome on this platform. मैं यहाँ ड्रम बीट्स को रिप्रेजेंट कर रही हूँ और हम सब इस वक्त ज़ोहरान ममतानी को सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं और हम सब जानते हैं कि हमारे एक्सपेंडिचर्स मीट करने के लिए हमें किन किन मसाइल का सामना करना पड़ता है। हमें जिन सर वेलकम सर। और हमें जिन जिन मसाइल का सामना करना पड़ता है, we knows very well and especially we know that our officials are here and we know very well that we are all supporting for Zohran Mamdani. For what? That is, he is a really humanitarian. He is working for a long time. He is also the assembly person of District 36. We know very well that he is working from that time when he was working for the Uber drivers. He was in jail. So if we want to see anything about him, we can see online. But the main thing is this, that at this time, if we are going to support for the humanity, we know very well that person, Zohran Mamdani, is supporting for the humanity for a long time. So at this time, we need for vote, and we are all going to vote. But the main thing is this, that we have to support on those people, they are not registered yet. Only 1 day is left, and the people, they are not coming out for a long time for the vote. So we have to convince them that we should all participate. और समझे ये हमारे लिए जहाद है। इस वक्त हम सब लोग बेकस लाचार अपने फलस्तीन की हमायत करके कभी नहीं जा सकते, बांट कर सिर्फ बात कर सकते हैं क्योंकि हमारे पास इतना ही अमल दखल है। लेकिन अगर हम समझते हैं कि ह्यूमैनिटी को हमें सपोर्ट करना है, हमने उन लोगों को सपोर्ट करना है जिनकी हम मदद नहीं करने जा सकते, तो फिर आइए मिलकर हम ज़ोहरान को सपोर्ट करते हैं ताकि हम भी बाकी कम्युनिटीज की तरह अपनी कम्युनिटी को भी सपोर्ट कर सके। इंशाल्लाह ज़ोहरान ममदानी is as a mayor, inshallah. Thank you, Allah Hafiz.
Thank you, Pooja, inshallah. So now we have the public advocate with us, Jamani Williams. As you know, that if we want to name maybe one of the top politicians who are friends to our community, so the top would be actually made by Jamani Williams. Because he has been with us in all these times, especially when 9/11 came, nobody was here to support us, but there were quite few who actually stood up for the rights of the Muslim, because there are quite few people who actually will always uphold the flags of, liberty, justice, and the rule of law, and Jamani has been with the community through all these thick and thins. When it was a tribal ban, he was the first one to stand up with the Muslims. When it was the pandemic, during the pandemic time, there were quite few politicians who were actually coming out and helping and supporting the communities, and Jamani was there to help and support the communities. So he has been with us through all these times. Now this is the time to recollect him. He has been running very strong, because he has built up his inroads throughout the whole New York City. So I'm going to invite now Jumani Williams to come and we shall share a few words with him. So Jumani Williams.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace and blessing of light to everyone. Thank you so much for the kind words, and thank you everyone for being here today in Muslim Vote and making sure that your vote is very strong and heard loudly. As mentioned, my name is Jamani Williams, public advocate, City of New York. Scotch Hussein, anybody knows Scotch of daytime in my office, deputy public advocate, now here as a campaign. There's a lot of things going on, and I know a lot of folks in the room, and thank you for saying that I've been here for a really long time. Folks may not know I used to work not too far from here. About 27 years ago, I was a housing director at Flatbush Development Corporation. So I remember what 9/11 looked like, and to see where the community has gone now, it's just amazing. And thank you for all those who supported. Thank you, Najee, thank you, Basil, you're doing great work. There's so many folks here, so I appreciate it. We're in some tough times now. And I know that communities are afraid across the board for so many different reasons. The community has an intersection of Islamophobia, intersection of xenophobia and immigration. Just in general, all communities are just trying to make sure they can afford the food they eat and get some good housing over their head, and they want their children to do a little better than they did. Depending on the communities, a lot of things are stopping that from happening. And I know right now folks are worried about not only what's happening in the White House across the country, but what's happening right here in City Hall. We have a mayor who is either bought and sold because of the parking that he needed, or he just actually believes in the MAGA talking points. I don't know which one is worse, but it doesn't mean we don't have a mayor that's going to stand up for the majority of the people who are afraid in the city. And that worries me a lot. And I say that because it's been painful as a black man who's a citywide elected official to see another black man who's even more powerful citywide elected official, who is the leader of a city full of immigrants, whether they were foreign born or just go back a generation or two, almost 80-90%. And to have a mayor that will not stand up and say, I'm going to do whatever I can to protect you is very scary. But as a public advocate, it is my job to join with other folks and try to fill in that gap. I'm supportive of, I'm so happy with the support I've received from this community. And I just want folks to know, I try to say the same thing wherever I am, so I don't have to remember what I told anybody. So I just say what it is that I believe in. What has been painful in the past few years for me, after October 7th, I joined my elected leaders to say, we have to condemn what happened. There's no way we can't condemn what happened. And we have to say, let's bring those hostages home. I can't imagine families with family members being held hostage. That's horrific and scary. But what was beyond disgraceful, in my opinion, is that some of those very same people would not join me, even to this day, to lift up what's happening in Gaza and say we need a ceasefire in Gaza and that a collective punishment of an entire people is something that cannot be acceptable. The same humanity that tells us to condemn what happened on October 7th should have told us immediately that what's happening in Gaza cannot be accepted. And that didn't happen. And even on a debate stage with the person I'm running against, in June of 2025, still cannot say the word Gaza and say ceasefire. That's pretty despicable. And what's wrong, I am very clear that I, as public advocate of the City of New York, cannot solve the Middle East crisis. I just cannot. But the people I represent in New York City are in pain. And you cannot responsibly lead a city if you're only going to lift up one person's pain. You have to lift up everybody's pain. And we have to have a shared humanity. And I think a difficult conversation looks different when everybody feels like they're heard. And everybody feels like their pain is heard. And that's been part of the problem in this city and in this country. And as a public advocate, I want to make sure that I'm always going to lift up your pain. I'm always going to lift up everyone's pain. And I'm going to speak the same way whenever I'm in a mosque, or I'm in a synagogue, or I'm in a church. because my Bible-based faith tells me that I have to do that. And it's really important to make sure that you have leaders doing that so that we can get through the next 3.5 years. Because really, believe it or not, only 6 months in, and we have 3.5 years to go. And locally, I'm hoping what folks learn is that we need to make sure our local elected officials are people who are going to protect us, not people who are going to try to make the word Muslim or Palestine some kind of slur. And we have to have people who are going to stand up and say, no, it's not. It's just one shared humanity. And I will be honest, and we have to be honest with ourselves, all over, folks who knew better, some of us, drank some of the orange Kool-Aid that was being sold last year because everybody thought it may happen to other people, not going to happen to us. And so what I'm hoping that the people learn is that it's never just going to happen to other people, it always happens to all of us. And so if there's someone hurting or someone who's in danger, we are all in danger. And so we all have to stick together, even for folks that we have our own biases against. Because the truth of the matter is, all of us have biases. It's just we are as human beings. And inshallah, we can use God's grace to move past that. But what they try to do is make people's own biases and our own fears override our intelligence. We just can't let that happen. I'll end with what I've been saying from Brazil when they elected their authoritarian, which was they told everyone no one let go of anyone's hands. And so we have to just hold on to each other to get through this. And as public advocate, I'm going to do my best to make sure I get that message across. So I appreciate the time and opportunity and happy to take questions.
Yes. Any questions? Any questions? From the, yes, sir.
Those leaders who need to respond your call to at the same way they were asking.
I mean, it's a lot of them happen. I think the mayor has kind of said something like that. I don't think he's very strong on it. I think even the folks who have started saying are really hesitant. They don't say it with as much bass in their voice as they say some other things. The person I'm running against, I'm shocked. I'm shocked on the debate stage. Twice I brought it up. And she still hasn't said it. I think it took a while for the governor to mention something. It's just something about it that, there's stuff happening all over this country, from Sudan to Haiti to Gaza. We should be talking about all of it because people are in pain. So we should just remember that when leaders come for our votes. And I know that people abuse trauma. I've seen people now trying to abuse black trauma. They're trying to abuse Jewish trauma. And at some point, they're going to try to abuse Muslim trauma. They're going to come back and say some things that you want to hear. But we just need to remember who stood up when it was difficult, who spoke out when it was not politically expedient. By the way, it shouldn't take courage to say you need a ceasefire in Gaza. It shouldn't take courage when someone says 14,000 babies may die to say you shouldn't ask whether it's going to be a year or tomorrow. We should just join in saying it's not going to happen. That should not be courageous. Unfortunately, for some reason it is, but we want to remember those who stood up. Thank you.
If you like those 5 candidates, who would you endorse?
What do you mean, for mayor?
Yeah.
I've already put my list out. So, Brad, Adrian, Zoran Mondani, Zelnor, and Scott Stringer. Most importantly, don't rank Andrew Cuomo. That's my message. Do not rank Andrew Cuomo. I was on the dream team very early, which was don't rank Eric or Andrew for mayor.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much. Peace and blessings. I hope I can count your vote. We don't take anything for granted. So thank you.
Lonnie Williams, 4 more years! 4 more years!
Come on.
Where's this poster? Bring one poster out. Run. Wait, he's gonna get some posters. 1 second, that's not good enough. Your money deserves more than that. He's a member of our family, brother.
Guys, we are having some old photos and then we have one other speaker.
A lot of people
My
here
very
talk
good
about
friend is
him.
here.
The one that's running against him, I don't even know freaking name. He's like that. There you go. Everybody grab one. You want the big guy in the back?
I'm not a big guy.
Wait, come here. Wait. Ajay, come. Come here. What's the name? Come.
That's a great picture, guys. 4 more years! 4 more years! Come on, louder! 4 more years! 4 more years!
Okay, everyone, please stay, don't leave yet. We have another we have someone from Zoran campaign here. He want to speak with us. Most importantly, I request everyone to please have a short video clip record for us, okay? Record a short video clip, record it about Zoran, record it about Giovanni Williams, record it about the other candidates, and say that this is my name and I'm voting for Zoran. This is what we need from you. Please, everyone, don't leave before, don't go before recording that video.